Just making
Yeah, I
sure.
heard that started.
I'm just making sure. I don't know if anyone actually did. I'm dreaming of a white.
Oh, what is not
White Christmas.
Did you know?
Do you know Crush
I
Christmas?
thought
Us Halloween nerds need our Halloween.
Listen, Halloween.
Right?
Halloween's already up here, by the way.
Did you meet us?
Not only did they put
Well,
Halloween.
you guys know it's Christmas in July right now.
Yeah. You guys didn't
Yeah.
hear? They put the Halloween
Yeah.
decorations and everything up.
On my screen.
They put it up here in June, and now all the stuff's going on the clearance racks.
They're rushing holidays too quickly.
So if you didn't get your Halloween stuff already, it's already on the clearance racks up here. They're not even doing anything.
Damn.
They already threw it up. So you guys, Christmas will be here by August. You'll be buying Christmas presents and hearing jingle bells before kids go back to school.
I'm surprised the back to school stuff's not already out.
It's here.
A good morning, a good evening, or a good afternoon, and thank you for joining us once again, the grumpiest of monsters of gaming. I am Kaiju K, and with me here is Mama Bear Maxine.
Howdy, howdy.
Deathgasm.
Not paying attention.
Juggernaut Jared.
Hello.
Necro Nick.
Hello.
Possibly Rebel Vanity.
She opted out for tonight, she said.
It's okay. And the man of the hour, Subliminal.
Oh, I don't like that.
Oh, come on, man. You are all this
You're
conversation
gonna
is
like
about.
it and you're gonna take it.
You are all this is about. This entire episode is based off of you, my friend. You Fabio
Be prepared
Playboy.
to get shafted.
Oh, is it a good old roast session?
Kind of like that. You see, Subliminal won out on the best game idea out of the Monsters. But he had so many...
Actually,
What?
can we do something first?
What's that? Talk about your haircut?
Ooh.
No, we have a monster that did not go real game yet.
Well,
There we go. See, look at that.
we don't know if Juggernaut has a game or not. You've got to ask that question first.
I respectfully decline. I haven't been able to think of anything.
There you go there,
Okay.
Necro.
Oh,
Now, what happened was...
it's alright.
Sub decided to do something very bad. He was a very naughty boy. He designed the
Oh,
entire
was it?
game without a single title idea. And then he left a lot of vague ideas about the game. Made it sound really good, but man, he just didn't go into a lot of detail with very certain things. So tonight's episode, in case y'all want to opt out of it now, is we're going to be asking him questions and trying to make his game even more fun sounding than it was originally. Of course, since Sub is currently the CEO of his own gaming company right now, we're just a bunch of the talkers who are going to try and talk to him about how the game works. And as we all know, Sub's brilliant brain has already thought of every question. We haven't even started yet. Give a suggestion.
Every question, let me tell you.
I mean, Deathgasm.
Fucking me up so much.
I mean, you can start if you want, man.
Well, so, I have a question for Killer. Can he throw dildos?
And it
No.
begins. Okay, so anyway, let me give you a quick rundown of
No,
his
he
game.
cannot.
Let me give a quick rundown of the game, and then we'll go from there.
Necronix Killer's weapon is going to be a sickle. Like a harvest sickle.
Good, because I'm so sick and tired of people using harvest scythes as weapons because it's so pathetic. Y'all realize that those aren't designed to be weapons, right? Like, y'all gotta think here, alright? I'm just saying. I've done background checks on medieval weapons. A big old harvesting scythe for harvesting wheat would not do well in combat at all. In fact, in case you didn't know, the original Grim Reaper didn't have a scythe, he actually had a pitchfork. The scythe was added in the 1960s. So, just throwing it out there, war scythes aren't a real thing. The only ones that were used on horseback at full speed. And they weren't swung. They were kind of held to the side and drugged by people's heads just to kind of just lob them off. So just throwing that one out there, I'm so sick and tired of people using harvesting tools as a weapon. Hand scythes, however, those are an effective tool. That's a difference. A harvest scythe
These
is...
are a harvesting weapon, but I could go on a massacre with one of them.
Yeah, with a hand scythe, no problem, yeah. But the problem with a harvest scythe is it's so unwieldy.
Oh, an axe.
An axe?
Well, now that you asked about Necro's killer and how it's a hand scythe, I want you to know that one of his abilities is to have a chain added to it where he could throw it at people to drag them close to him.
Oh, great, now he's Scorpion, alright. Get over here! Alright, so anyways, a quick rundown of his game. His game was a 3v3 killers versus survivors. I personally think it should be 3 versus 6, but we'll get to that later. Where the survivors have to, that's one of my things to talk about, where the survivors have to craft traps, find locations, break totems, etc., 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 in order to win. The killers, on the other hand, have to kill the survivors. It sounds simple enough, but if you watch the first episode and watched how much me and Deathgasm's eyes lit up like we were opening up Christmas presents at age 6, you'd understand just how awesome this game actually sounded. So, that being said, I currently have 6.5 pages of questions I want to talk about.
Wait, angry?
I've increased it, yes.
Oh, does anyone else have questions before Kai goes on a rant?
I was about to say,
I would like to give my turn on the floor to Kaiju.
Mine as well.
Necro?
I would probably honor you, Kyle's questioning.
I forfeit.
No, they're forfeits. So it's only me and Deathgasm right now.
I'll probably add along.
But you're lagging a little bit, so you know, Necro. Either that or I'm lagging.
He has a small lag, but it usually clears up in a little bit. Usually Nick starts off with a lag for like the first 10 minutes, and then it clears up. I don't know why, but...
Oh, okay. Just basically come back to
Just
that.
Mr. Bloodybags can't afford good internet.
Oh, jeez. And the swings start already. All right.
Listen, he uses that money for a bed, man. That's why he can't use it for the internet.
So, shall we begin the questioning? Yes. So the very first question is, have you decided on, or would you like us to help you decide on, a name for this game?
Yeah, I'd like you guys to help me decide on a name for the game.
Don't
That's the
worry.
only thing I couldn't think of.
Oh, I don't know.
Because so many things are already taken. That would have been perfect for it.
I have 6.5 pages here. There were a lot of things you didn't do.
I got an idea.
Okay. What's your
Oh, wow, okay. I forgot it is hard to.
Death be death.
Deathly Death?
Death be death.
That sounds like a card from freaking Yu-Gi-Oh! Deathly Death. I play Deathly Death. Okay, we got Deathly Death. Okay. I was thinking of Eternal Sufferings.
Hunter's Demise.
Okay. Juggernaut, any ideas for you? Nope. Okay. Sunshiny Day. All right. Actually, that would be a great name for the game. That would be a complete cup of a name for the game right there.
Survivors open.
Double says Hunter's Playground.
What do you say, Hondo?
Oh, what do you think of that one? Subnation.
Ooh, how about Survivor's Opus?
Ooh.
That's a good
Like
one. That was one of them.
them.
We should call it Cupcakes and Sunshine, so it really blows people's fucking minds when they play it. This has nothing to do with Cupcakes and Sunshine!
Sunshine, lollipops,
and rainbows, and then the freaking... And then the killer just puts his boot on top of the radio and keeps walking.
Oh, what, in the title screen when it pops up? Ouch, Charlie, that hurt.
No, and the title screen will be a song that never ends.
People.
This is the song that does it, and a hand sight smashes into the radio. It just like picks it up and throws it. It just keeps walking forward.
People.
Face, pick it up.
Alright.
Damn it! Who invited the damn robot again?
Sorry. Yeah, it's fucking up again. Sorry.
It's okay. Okay, so my next question I wanted to throw in has to do with updating the game. Now,
Which Necro Mix Killer is in one of the updates, obviously.
yeah, he probably is, and then he'll be taken out, and then it'll be a couple more months, and he'll be brought in, completely changed, and anyway. Another question I have for
You
you.
like Legion?
Oh, please leave poor Legion alone. They're almost as bad as the clown. They're gonna get nerfed again. I can feel it.
Well, they are giving them.
Something just like buff.
Oh, a new outfit. Ooh. So, how are you gonna handle?
Updates.
How are you gonna handle updates? Are you gonna do like once a month updates, or are you gonna do like DLC?
Okay, so what I was thinking was to keep the game fresh, I would do it probably every 2 weeks, and then like every 3 or 4 months I'd do a huge update. That way we could make sure everything's sticking together like glue and not falling apart.
All right. And the download icon would look like Irish Spring, just to make sure it's extra fresh. You're not fully updated until you're fresh Irish clean. All right, next one on my list of never-ending lists, because I thought of more things to add. This one goes towards your idea of people being able to make their own designs. Now, you were talking about how they would be able to put their own designs up and possibly get a small amount of money back and that kind of thing. We were talking about they'd have to play a certain number of hours or get a certain number of points in order to be able to keep that up. Well, what if you put it down as a small subscription fee for them instead? You know, you're still making money off your ideas and everything, and you pay $5 a month to stay in, you know? That way, you know, some of those people are going to just be like...
I think the penalty thing should be active.
Okay, well...
If you do subscription. Just so that they're not just literally only creating stuff.
Okay. Like I said, I'm just throwing out... I just list, you know. Now, this one is not...
I told you, I got a lot of the answers.
Okay. So this one has to do with all of the traps. So, when you say traps, you left that very vague. Are we talking bear traps? Are we talking swinging logs? Are we talking about animated girls that are actually guys? What kind of traps are we talking here?
Everything.
Oh, God!
Maybe not the traps, but...
No, because I was curious, because you were talking about...
Why are you saying that basically... What are you saying, like that could have its own kill animation with the trap?
They just walk away. They just leave the map. They just walk off the map. They just walk away.
and once someone triggers one, you have Akbar going, it's a trap.
Yeah, it's a trap. Akbar just pops up. Akbar just flings up on your screen. It's a trap, and pops back down. Here's something that
like there's gonna be like planks of wood with nails in it and shit like that for stunning weapons, for hurting weapons for survivors. There's gonna be bear traps. There's gonna be wall traps. There's even gonna be like little pitfalls that you can create because you can craft a shovel.
Can I craft a guitar so I can be El Kabong?
You can craft almost anything, really.
You craft the metal chair.
Oh, we were already talking about that. You can. We were already talking about that one. The metal chair did come up. We were already part of that. You can hit people with it, or you can use it to do like climbing, running jumps. We talked about that in the last part. Yeah. Off the top, bro!
Okay.
Well,
maybe craft metal chairs that you can place in certain areas to climb over the wall.
What about hitting the bad guy with them? Huh?
Mm-hmm.
You ever been hit?
That shit.
You ever been hit by a metal chair?
If the chair breaks after a certain amount of uses, you could use it as a weapon.
Okay, well, those aluminum chairs don't last forever. Trust me. You good a couple swings, they're not worth it anymore.
They bend very easily.
Yes, they do. 2, 3 swings, maybe, unless you're Juggernaut. Then one good swing. You know.
Well, you end up with 4 leg pieces from the chair, though.
Just start jabbing with the leg pieces.
And they got 7 weapons.
It's like that part from Robin Hood Men in Tights where they keep breaking the sticks smaller and smaller, just smacking each other's fingers and stuff like that. You blow up the car and now it's a motorcycle. You blow up the motorcycle and now it's a unicycle. You blow up the unicycle and now it's a pogo stick. You blow up the pogo stick and now you're riding on Alfred's shoulders. I'm just saying, it just keeps going from there.
It's not going to be that long, though, because you're not be able to search for your stuff to craft and everything, so... You can also add stuff onto the broken leg chairs of the aluminum chair, so... I mean...
Can I beat an enemy while screaming wrestling fanatic terms? Something else I wanted to ask, okay? This is actually very important because it was something we didn't bring up. What is your vision going to be in this game? Are we talking third person, second person? Are we talking first person, VR level? What are we talking about with your characters?
Okay, so it's different for each mode. For ranked, it's first person on both sides. For ranked, it's both persons. For party, it's a choice of whether you want to play third person or not. And of course, the casual is you can choose to play third person as well.
Okay. Oh, Cody.
But there's gonna be separate brackets for that, though.
Okay. Another question I have comes with the Juggernaut. I agree. Another question I have for you is with the talking, the proximity voice chat. Now, somebody brought up the question of they don't want it to be pushed to chat; they want it to be constantly on. Is that how it will be, or will it be pushed to press the chat?
Okay, so first off, it's going to be a certain distance between how far the proximity chat reaches.
Well, that's how proximity
as you get
chat.
further away, it's going to get quieter and quieter, and proximity chat is always on.
Sub, you do realize that the definition of proximity chat is being able to hear and speak to somebody within a certain range, right?
Sorry, it's not push to talk.
Okay. As long as it's like that. Another question.
Yes, I realize what proximity chat is.
I'm just going to keep going down my list, all right? Now, this comes down to the killers versus survivors aspect. This was something else that was brought up. Survivors actually have very little in the way of advantages. The killers could easily overwhelm them, and with the killers having double the health, pre-made weapons, special abilities, etc., is 3v3 really the way we should play this? I think maybe 3 versus 6.
I see what you mean. I was seeing what you mean, especially since people are going to be spawning randomly, which means they're not all going to spawn in the same territory. So I was thinking that it could be at 3v6, that way 2 could spawn in each area, at least.
Okay. Well, the reason this was brought up was...
That way if one person's fucking getting mollywopped and there's somebody next to him, they could stop the killer from doing so.
Another question I have...
Yeah, this game is about teamwork, after all.
All right, which is going to upset quite a few people that are going to run around and try to be their own invincible party member. We know that.
Yeah, obviously.
So
You talking about me, Kaiju?
oh no, I'm talking about the people I've played with on frickin' Dead by Daylight. Who, 3 of us will be working on a generator, we'll be running around, and then you have this one Nancy boy who's just running around in the middle of the map, just not doing anything. That wasn't aimed at you, Deathgasm. I actually watch you play. You actually take it seriously. But sometimes there's the one guy working on the one generator all by himself, and when he gets caught and put on a hook, he starts snapping because there was no one around to save him because everyone else was working together to finish 3 generators,
Oh, yeah, it's definitely going to be team-based, because think of it this way. A killer could team up with another killer just to attack one person.
Well, that's the other thing I was worried about, because if all three killers decide to go jump somebody, it's 3 against, well, it would be 3-on-1 originally, it would be 3-on-2 now.
At least.
Maps, and more maps.
What about maps?
This is my next section, maps, and more maps. Okay. So the first thing is boundaries. How are boundaries going to be brought up in the game? Are they going to be like a gate, or there's just a fucking hole in the ground? Because maps can't be infinite, you know.
Okay, so for the boundaries, you're talking about the edge, right? Not just the boundaries of the territory, right?
That's right. Because the next question is even funnier, so, you know.
Instant death when reaching it. It'll be obvious that it's the end of the map, because it'll be just a field of fucking ground spikes.
Okay.
To show that you're bad.
So my next question was, if you didn't have an idea about that, what about a PUBG style thing where every couple of minutes the map slowly shrinks?
Mm-hmm.
Now the survivors are on a timer as well.
I think that would happen after a certain time limit has passed.
Okay.
Honestly, because it's going to take a certain amount of time to deploy territory.
What?
I feel like in a game like Killers versus Survivors,
Yeah.
I don't think that'd be a good mechanic.
Well,
because
the reason it was brought up was because of my
Oh,
next
you
question.
gotta-
It was my next question, but continue, Deathchasm.
my only opinion on it is, if I were playing Sub's game,
Yeah.
since there's people that are stealthy, people that are brutes, you're gonna want to fucking recon the area you're going into. You're gonna want to take this game like a fucking sniper in a ghillie suit, moving freaking inches at a time.
I can see where you're coming from with that.
Well, the other
Well,
question.
There has to be a mechanic where it ends game mode. Because if the killers and the survivors aren't, like, doing their job, then it'll just last forever if there's nothing stopping the game from,
Well, the next question is actually the important one that actually adds up the first two. I probably should have put these in reverse order. The next one is the size of the map, which is the reason for those other two ideas. Are we talking like a Dead by Daylight size map? Are we talking like a VHS size map? I mean, how big are these maps going to be? Because that's an important question. Because, I mean, like,
that I haven't really thought about.
the way
I
you...
would think it would be bigger than Dead by Daylight.
They'd have to
but
be.
not. I would say maybe like another half a map added onto a Dead by Daylight. Maybe for good generalization.
Yeah, we're talking about a map that's going to have 3 different territories in it.
Right.
We're not talking
It has to be
paths.
different size, though.
We're not talking paths, we're talking territories. You know, if you look at the size of Dead by Daylight map, and even if you add 50% more to that, ask me, how big are these territories actually going to be?
Sure.
Because
Maybe like
Medium-sized map would be the large-sized map in Dead by Daylight, but
the only
for
reason...
the actual large map, it would be almost twice as big, but not as much.
The only reason I asked this also is one of your
Okay.
no, you go. I'm in a new subject.
No, question of the map sizing then, if it's gonna be a smaller map, will that decrease the party amount then?
That would be probably in the quick play.
Like a quick 1v3 or something.
Yeah, pretty much. I gotta go back on one of your questions that I answered. I kind of agree with Deathgasm on the... But there has to be, like I said, there has to be something that stops them from all wanting to just screw
There
around.
is something already in place, as you said. That beam of light, if you're playing it too careful, like not moving at all, that beam of light comes back.
Right.
Remember that idea?
Yeah, but that only works if
True,
they're
true.
not doing something.
But if everyone's playing friendly, because in killer games, people play friendly, then
There's also the idea of, like, let's say the 3 killers decide to go to Section A to try to jump the people in Section A. Meanwhile, Section B and C have all jumped together, and now they're running over into Section A. Depending on the size of the map, depends on how easy it is to find each other. But the other problem is, one of the standing stones of this game, one of the things you said, one of the things you brought up was the fact that these territories were to strengthen a specific killer, and if he left the territory, then he lost all his strength. So if we're talking small territory amounts, there's really not that much to lose if you can just play hopscotch and jump back and forth through territories. The sizes have to be enough.
right, that's why it would be big. Like really big. So.
That's what I'm saying. Now, there's no telling that, you know, hunters can't or killers can't have a way to track. There's nothing saying they can't. You could set up traps that will alert you when a person gets to a certain area or something. The thing is that the size of these maps has to be actually quite a bit larger than a Dead by Daylight map would have to be in order for it to fit, because if you keep the maps small, that means these territories aren't actually all that bad, because as a killer, you could just, like, let's say you're a ranged killer. Let's say that Juggernaut has a bow and arrow. He's a killer with a bow and arrow. And he goes sneaking into Nick's territory, which is across from mine, right? And then he sees somebody, but realizes that unless he's in his territory, he can't shoot a bow and arrow. So if it's really small, like the size of a Dead by Daylight map, there's no doubt that Jared could easily cross through 2 territories, get into his territory, and begin firing. Thus, there's no flaw in leaving your territories. That's why I'm so judgmental on the size. You know, one of the big main factors.
It's going to be a decent size.
Right.
It's going to have to be.
It can't be small, because if it's small, that takes away one of the things that I enjoyed the most about it, which is why I'm willing to
It doesn't just take away that. It takes away the amount of totems that would have to be cleansed and everything in order to actually debuff the area and everything.
Right. So like I said, if you pick a smaller area, then once again, you know, there's less totems, but there's also less room for the maneuverability. As Jeff Gatson stated, there are going to be people that are going to be stealthy, the low crawlers and everything like that. But trust me, crossing a 100-foot field, low crawling, versus going across a 1,000-foot field, it's a lot harder to notice you in that 1,000-foot field than that 100-foot field. So that's why I was asking about how big these maps got to be, because these maps have to be big enough for the advantage of the territories to also be overweighed by the negatives of the territories. Like you said, when a killer's in their territory, they're stronger, they're fast, they're meaner. But if the territories are only like the size of a Dead by Daylight map, you've run across a Dead by Daylight map before. It takes, what, a minute?
I don't know, some of them are pretty long.
Maybe 2 minutes, but I mean, once again, what it comes down to is simply put that if you pick a smaller map, it means less maneuverability, and you know, the traps are, you know, you'll figure out where the traps are going to be. You know, it's got to be a decent sized map. I'm not saying like a Skyrim sized map. I'm not talking like a PUBG or Fortnite sized map. I'm not talking something that big. Those are too big. You know, I've played 2v2 on a Fortnite map before. It took forever to win. It took forever to win. It sucked. But these maps have to be a decent enough size. Or things like, for instance, let's say the maps are very small, where I can see across it or something like that. Then why am I going to set up a trap? You know, I can see where they are. There's no reason for me to go and waste my time, energy, and resources to make a trap if they can see me putting down the trap from somewhere, you know? The way you have the game described, it's like a jungle map, you know? You got to be careful because you don't know where the killer's going to be hiding. But a small map wouldn't do that, you know? I knew there would be points of contention in this speech. I knew there would be points of contention. I was expecting it. I'm just saying that, like, if you have any idea how big these maps are going to be, like I said, we don't need frickin' GTA or San Andreas size maps. But they got to be big enough.
Listen, if we go GTA size, you'd have to go original OG GTA size, not new GTA size, man.
All right. Shall I move on to the next question, or do you need some time for your brain?
Do you feel like the answer was satisfactory, or?
You really don't have you didn't give me an exact size. You know, even if it's 50%, even if it's double, even if it's triple the size of a regular map, I mean, it just all comes down
I was thinking, you remember how big farm is, right? Think of that, but twice the size.
It could work, you know. Like I said,
or would you think that would be too small?
well, like I said, let's go back to my original statement. I'm going to borrow Deathgasm's statement here, okay? You're talking about a game where the play style could be whatever you want. You could be Rambo running through those woods, screaming at the top of your lungs, swinging some kind of 2x4. You could be some guy setting up traps, or you could be some guy being very stealthy crawling through. If they can spot you every time crawling through the area, or they can see you putting down a trap, they know, hey, he's over there, or hey, I shouldn't put a trap over there. I shouldn't go over there because there's a trap. This
Oh no, it would definitely be bigger than that. You're not going to see everything easily. It's a decent enough distance where you could do stuff without being noticed right away.
This leads me into my next question about the maps. I'm just going to keep reading down the list, guys.
You're good.
You know, we've seen farms, we've seen schools, we've seen schools. There's been a lot of schools in these horror-based games, trust me. Dear Lord, VHS is just a giant school, and whatever that other one was where you have to go through the school and start up the generator to escape is also a giant school. What kind of variety could we expect from these maps? Because, like I said, certain things have been done literally to death. Gasm.
Like, I have to say old-style cities and fantasy islands. At first we probably, like, edit a couple, like, things that are already out there just so that we have a decent size of choice. But it would be different enough to where it's not exactly like we're just taking it and putting it there.
Okay. So, another question I had, still going through this guy, sorry, I'm not even close, I'm on page 2 now. I've actually reached page 2 now. Well, Deathgasm jumped in with a couple of the questions I already had, so I didn't have to go any further.
I have another question if it's not too much. I just thought, you know how you put down traps?
Arg?
Yeah.
Let's say you or one of your teammates run over by accident.
It will trigger.
Alright, hang on.
That's what I thought.
Delete. Alright.
Would the other survivors know that the kill was placed there by a survivor?
Well, I mean, you could
Would
probably...
there be some sort of indicator?
You could probably mark it.
You can mark it, or it's not going to really do any damage to you. It's just going to stun you for a few seconds because it was a friendly, trap and everything.
Yeah, but if you're in mid-case,
Yeah,
and you accidentally run over the killer.
That machete attached to a sapling smacks you in the chest and stuns you. It's just friendly fire, don't worry.
Yeah, friendly fire. My heart's hanging off the machete on the other side of my body.
Walk it off!
Flash
Tis a flesh wound!
Listen, I didn't say anything against, survivor and survivor brutality, man.
Oh, here we go!
Yeah, that's good.
Hunters can hurt each other too.
Just attack the other survivors and then go for the kills.
Friendly fire's on both sides, my dude.
It's also on the killer, so if the killer has a killer step in the trap, they're gonna get caught too. Alright, so...
Yeah, I feel like that would just be funny to watch everyone unfold and just go total free-for-all.
One of the killers
Well,
has
I'm sure that's going to happen here and there, especially in casual mode.
So,
I can see it because some prick put a trash down right in front of me, and it said off, do damage to me, and then I just beat him to death with a 2x4.
You know there's going to be some. You know there's going to be some troll there, just like I got 3 bear traps. My buddy's in the corner. Huh.
his buddy shouldn't have been in the corner. So next question. This is actually an interesting one. I got this from a different website from someone who never watched our videos. So somebody else was doing a zombie survival game, and it had a lot to do similar to yours. So, will you be able to open and close windows and doors in the areas if you can?
Yes. Because I find that to be a very fun mechanic. You could also do the lock mechanic like how they have in Friday the 13th.
Can I scream squeak as I open and shut doors repeatedly?
Yes.
All right, I'm good with it.
Sound.
I'm good with it. Okay.
They're gonna be dusty hinges, man. You're gonna make sound.
I'm gonna look around for WD-40.
We're gonna use your voice as a sound clip for the noise too. From Prop Hunt. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
Yep. So another question I have. Will we be talking flat land or are we talking multiple stories? Like,
it depends on the map.
And if you're handling multiple stories,
It depends on the map.
how do you handle fall damage?
I didn't think so. Fall damage.
Like,
I'd say like a small percentage of health, not that much, but you also get stunned for like 5-10 seconds.
Well, the reason I'm
Depending on the
not
height.
like for instance, in Dead by Daylight, if you jump off a small roof, you get an oof. But if you jump out the second story, you get a bit of a stun before you keep going. Is something similar to that, or
Right. Similar to that. But
Okay.
you will receive like a small penalty to your health for jumping off a 2-story. I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem.
Unless you have the acrobat ability, which makes you
Parkour.
fucking roll.
Parkour. Next question on the list. This is a good one. If you can you break into locked windows and doors?
Yes.
If you go through a broken window, will you get cut by the glass?
There is a probability chance that's going to be in place for that.
Okay.
Hiding. You actually have to pull the glass out, by the way.
Oh, okay.
There'll be a nice animation for pulling the glass out.
Oh, that sounds just lovely. Ah.
Yeah, it causes a bleeding effect if you get cut by the glass.
Okay.
So you gotta basically get the glass out and bandage it up before you bleed out and shit.
Next up, hiding. I know that you said that we'd be able to do things like crouch and low crawl and sneak, but will you be able to hide like under beds or in lockers or behind doors?
You can prone hide in places as well. Because there's going to be sewer grates that killers could go into and stuff like that.
You're sus. He's sussing the game. He's sussing the game, everybody. He's sussing it.
There's even going to be hay piles that you could hide in as a survivor, and the killer could stab the hay pile.
Can I have a perk called Assassin's Leap where I jump into a hay bale? Just a screeching eagle sound as I fall in, alerting all the killers.
Sorry.
Aw, damn it. Anyway, like I said, I got goofy questions and I got funny questions.
Yeah, that's no self-taker. You just see him do a backflip off a tower into a hay pile.
Only killers could hide in the sewers, only survivors could hide in the lockers.
So are you gonna make it where someone runs and leaves the little cloud behind them in the shape of what they look like?
No, but there will be footprints and stuff to be able to follow.
Okay, damn it. There's another question I gotta take off my list.
The more you walk, the more grooves it is. in a sense. You know what I mean?
So that hang on, that was actually one of my questions. That's under my tracking section. So I'm going to jump there real quick. So killers will be able to see footprints. I'm guessing the more you run, or perhaps the more stuff you're carrying, the harder it is for the footprints to go away, maybe? Or are we talking something along the lines of like the Alien vs. Predator game where tracks stay there unless it's raining or something, in which case that becomes a very interesting matchup.
Well, it's depending on how much weight you're carrying and how fast you're running is how deep the track will be. And basically, it'll be kind of like Predator, where if it's raining, it will wash away slowly and everything.
Now that's interesting. All right, hang on, I gotta go back.
Just like the snow maps where there'll be random winds that blow over the tracks, and yes, there are snow maps.
The game just lost points. The game lost points.
Come on, man. I gotta use that coding for the snow for the regular maps, man.
It went from an IGN, it went from a 100 to a 97 just like that. I hate snow levels. I hate them.
Here's the question, will there be special events for holidays?
Yes.
Will there be a dating sim attached to it?
No.
No hook on you.
I got that thing ready. The second it comes out, I'm gonna download and do a let's play on it.
I know the snow maps would be during wintertime and stuff, right?
I hate snow maps.
Listen, there's going to be something on the game that somebody's not going to agree with no matter what.
This was 100%
and
game.
snow maps is going to be one of them for a few people.
I can't wait for the desert map.
The sewer stage, of course. The abandoned hospital and or school. Anyway.
Those are going to be called ice map.
Ice cream map. It's an abandoned ice cream factory. Didn't see that coming.
That could be a movie where the killers and the survivors play hockey against each other. Where it's a 3v3.
I'm sorry. Are we bringing sporting mini games into the game as well?
Apparently.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can see it. The killer has to go to the penalty box for slashing his opponent with his ice skate.
No, just slashing him with his weapon. Just slashing him with his weapon, you know? Nick slashes somebody with his
This is hockey, man. Things happen.
It'll be like Running Man with the one guy in the ice rink with a sharpened hockey stick.
Sub-Zero. His name was Sub-Zero.
Yeah, I know. And the only reason you remember that is because it's named after a Mortal Kombat character.
You know it, brother. You know it. All right? Let's not even talk. We know that. All right, next question. Still talking about maps. So, what kind of...
I brought snow map because of how many questions you have on maps, by the way.
Oh, don't worry. I have a page worth of questions for the maps.
What about the abilities? Do you have a page worth for those?
I think I got like 2 pages for those.
Oh, okay, then I'm happy.
You're pixelating.
Who is?
You.
Oh, no. Am I back?
You're back.
Am I back?
No. It's bad.
Looks good on my screen. It looks good to me, too.
One second. One second.
Which part? It's just...
I'll just jump back in. Is this better?
Yeah.
Okay. So another question about maps is, what are we talking about time-wise, okay? Are we talking daytime? Are we talking nighttime, stormy weather, fraud weather, end of the world weather?
It goes on the host's weather and time.
Oh, someone else is stealing my Google weather idea, huh?
Listen, there's an ace.
Does that have to do with Google Drive? Confused? Are
I'm
we,
getting asked questions while getting asked questions, okay?
apparently the world has become cloudy with a chance of meatballs.
You know I'm answering questions. You gotta ask me questions.
America!
Oh,
Yeah!
What's the question? What's the question?
Are you a pain in the ass, apparently?
Yes, I'm a pain in the ass. What's the question?
Okay, anyway.
Oh,
So,
I'm listening. What's the question?
okay, Alright, so, another question I have has to do with your weather effects, because I said if with weather says yes. So, since you're going to have weather effects, how will weather affect the game?
Rain will wash footprints away. Snow will leave an impression unless wind blows it away. Basically, basically, if you walk through water, you're gonna trudge deeper in the mud or whatever you're walking on, unless it's like concrete or something.
If your area is being hit by a tropical storm or other exaggeratedly dangerous weather phenomenon, will it also affect the game? I actually wrote it down that way.
See, that one's hard to answer because
You have Google.
you really should be playing the game while there's a tropical storm or
Yo, those
anything like that,
people.
honestly.
Yo, have you ever heard of Florida Man before? Them people down there are crazy. All right. Louisiana people in Louisiana will still have Mardi Gras with a Category 4 hurricane coming at them. All right. There are some crazy people in this world.
So let's specify the question. How exactly do you mean affect? Do you mean like it would go through the map or something? Or?
Well, if it's raining and drizzling, it washes away your footprints. If it's storm surge weather with 100 mile per hour winds, how does it affect the game?
It debuffs your stamina.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
F5 tornado goes right through the middle of the map.
Yeah, F5 tornado comes by, your stamina is slightly depleted. I was thinking more along the lines of maybe it'd be harder for characters to move around or see, or maybe there would be some dangers or something like that. Ma, there's a hurt.
Comes out and smacks person through a wall.
Yeah, Ma, a tornado's coming towards the house. You gotta get off the computer. No way, I'm about to kill this sumbitch.
Cow.
I mean, there'll probably be more effects and stuff that come along with updates. It'll have to be workshopped because it's not going to be perfect with the weather system right away.
We are workshopping it. That's what this whole thing is.
No, what I'm saying is it's gonna start out small, and then we'll work on the big stuff that will have the weather affect the game as well. I'd rather start out small, like rain, snow, wind, stuff like that.
Cow.
Because that would be easy to code, while the other stuff would not be as easy to code.
John Deere tractor. All right, fine then. We'll go to a different question. We'll go to a different question. I'll skip the next one as well because it's not small either. Besides storm-related issues in your area, would other events affect, such as perhaps a solar eclipse darkening the map or an earthquake shaking the shit out of things? And before you say no one's going to play games through an earthquake, the San Francisco 2020 game playoff had people in a 4.9 earthquake still playing Dota 2.
Yeah.
So there are people that are crazy.
It'll affect the game as well.
How?
In the same manner as the storm or disaster.
Get up there. Okay.
It'll maybe even affect the buildings by making them actually. Because remember, this environment, you can destroy the environment.
Right.
Okay. Look like in the ad with this whole thing. What about wildfires? How would that be affected?
How would what?
I think you guys are fucking nitpicking on my
Would you like me to mail you my list right now? These are actual questions on my list.
I bet they are. But,
I'm not saying
You want something about wildfires? That will certain disasters and everything will affect a certain map.
Okay.
That's how it's going to be because it's going to have to be worked into each map. So
I feel like I need to move away from the questions involving weather.
I think we killed each other now.
He's gone.
That's
Let's go.
Will these survivors have chances to find like specialty weapons like a gun, a bow, a crossbow, napalm?
Well, you could easily craft several of those items. Napalm is very easy to make, actually.
you can't mine them. You can only craft them, bud.
So I wasn't sure like how much you could craft this game. So like you craft.
Listen, you could fucking create a dildo as a weapon. You could create pretty much anything in this game as a weapon.
Yeah, use on you, motherfucker.
Oh, anyways.
Now.
Going on to a different part. We're going to go away from maps. Hang on, let me just scroll up. We're going away from maps. Okay, we're going away from maps. Abilities and skills. Jeez, that's a lot. I forgot how many questions I actually had here. This is actually quite big. Okay.
That's what she said.
Oh.
Not really.
Oh.
Since when were you looking at my wing wang?
Rest in peace.
What are you talking about? I've never had a woman who was not pleased by me.
And trust me, if he takes after his father, damn.
Yo, we're not bringing my father in the trunk into this, okay? We're going on to this conversation. Okay? Seriously. Juggernaut's dying over here, alright? Okay. So. It was a bad night, okay? It was a bad night. Anyway,
This is like a rapey night. Like, do you need therapy, my friend?
Mom!
Anyway. Nick might have with no, we're not going to bring that up on camera. We're not going to bring this up on camera. All right? Anyway. So, under skills and abilities, I have a few things to ask. First of all, will all skills and abilities be allowed from the beginning of the game, or will they have to be like leveled up or bought with points, or how's you going to do special abilities and skills? Because you said something about purchasing.
Okay, so the perks you're going to purchase through points and everything. Your abilities you can unlock by doing a few tasks, and once you do a few tasks, it'll unlock automatically. But there'll be small, at first there'll be a small cooldown, like 5-10 seconds after you unlock it. After you use it, it'll be like a 15-20 second wait.
Okay. How much will skills and abilities change the gameplay? For instance, if somebody just didn't want to pick up skills and abilities and wanted to play the game plain, how much of an advantage would they lose? Like, are we talking skills and abilities are like a requirement for beating it? Or can a person just run into it naked and have a chance at winning the map?
There's a chance for anything because what's to say the other side's not going to pick no abilities as well?
Statistics. But anyway, all right?
Right. Well, basically based off statistics for that question. I'm sorry, I can't answer that properly.
There you go. Next question. This is a fun one. Will skills and abilities affect what you can and cannot do in the game? For instance, will you require, say, a marksman skill in order to use firearms? Or, for instance, a scout perk to be able to start a fire?
Yes and no. Do you want to know why I say yes and no?
Yes and no.
Okay. Okay, so basically, if you don't choose that ability, it's not going to affect you that much. But you're not going to be as good in that ability. Say you want to shoot a gun, but you don't have the marksman's. Okay?
Okay.
That means that your ability is half of what that marksman is.
Okay, so you could still pick up a
Which
gun.
would
You
have
just,
85-90% of a accuracy. So half of that basically.
okay.
That's just an example.
A perfectly good example. Perfectly good idea. Will there be perks and abilities subjugated specifically for a certain character or character height archetype? For instance, will stealth characters gain mainly stealth?
Yes. Abilities, yes. Perks, no.
Okay. How different are the killers going to be from one another? Are we talking each one will be unique? Or are we talking sort of like DBD where there are some that are unique and some that are basically clones of one another with a different paint job on them?
In the beginning, it's going to be unique. Eventually, we're going to need ideas, and we're going to have a hard time, and we're probably just going to, like, put two together and be like, okay, so what can we take away from this one? What can we add to make it different to where it's not exactly a clone, but it's not completely unique?
All right.
But in the beginning, it's definitely going to be a lot of unique characters. There's definitely going to be 10, 20 unique characters.
Okay.
At least.
Will skills be locked when purchased from another person by another person, or will everyone be able to get that skill if they wish to purchase it? For instance, if you wanted every character in your group to have Iron Will, would they all be able to go purchase it, or would it be one of those first come first serve encounters?
First come first serve.
I like that idea. I like that. I give points for
Only
that.
Only because we don't want people to run the same thing and be OP because, oh, well, this person's able to get off the ground, while this person's also able to get off the ground. We don't want that. We want people to have uniqueness. That, and there won't be any actual meta perks by doing that.
Okay. This is
I really hate meta perk.
This is a question that is, I have it set for 2 of my categories, so I'm just going to use it here instead of going to the mobility category. When moving around levels, would you need special skills in order to perform things? For instance, like climbing up the side of a building or hopping a fence. Would that require a special ability? Would that? I'm sorry, Cody. Sorry, buddy. Or would that not be allowed in the game, etc.?
Are we talking about both sides, or what are we talking here?
Was that?
Are we talking both sides or just one side?
We're talking both sides. Like, for instance, let's say Necro wanted to go jump over a very tall fence. You can hop over a regular fence, but would you require a certain skill to climb over that big fence, or would it just be part of the kit and you would just take a little longer to get over the fence?
You have to craft climbing knuckles in order to do so.
Okay.
Or a grappling hook.
Damn it, that was one of my next questions. Damn it, Sub. Will there be escape skills and items, for instance, grappling hooks and climbing claws?
There'll be escaping, defensive, offensive, and stealth. There'll be items for every category.
And plumbus, because everyone has a plumbus.
The plumbus is a secret Easter egg. Don't tell anyone.
I don't think half the people here know what a plumbus is. They're all looking at me really weird.
It's probably going to be a skin for one of the weapons.
Okay. Speaking of weapons, when you say you can craft weapons, are you saying that every character can craft the same weapons, or will they require skills or a different perk? Or perhaps, for instance, stealth characters will be able to build stealthier weapons and traps, where a brute character will have to build more brutish skills and traps.
Okay, so everyone can build the same things for the most part. Don't get me wrong, characters will have their own special item, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, you have to have the right setup in order to craft that said item faster.
Okay.
Because crafting isn't a 1-2 and done. It's a couple like minutes, depending on not minutes, but you know what I mean. Like a minute or so. Like where you're sitting there crafting. I want it to where people can be vulnerable, including the killers.
Okay.
At certain points.
Juggernaut, you okay, man?
Yeah.
Okay, you look. He's taking a toll on you, buddy. Just thought I'd ask.
Now, when you stop crafting that said item, you leave it on. If you don't finish it, you leave it on that said workbench to come back and finish it later. In case you were wondering if that was going to be the second question to that answer.
Nope.
I got a question.
Mom Virus got a question.
You said that you can leave your item on the workbench and come back to it. What if somebody else wants to use said workbench?
Good question. What if somebody else wants to use the workbench? Will they put it to the side, or is that workbench technically taken out of the game for that moment?
That's a hard question to answer, honestly.
Well,
I was actually thinking of the answer that she was asking because I had a feeling I knew what she was going to ask. I was deciding if it would actually disintegrate some of the timer on the other one that was made, or have a nerf where if you're building on a workbench that somebody's already building on, it will put more time on both items depending on which ones are being crafted.
Okay.
Now, it will be a little quicker if all people are crafting at the same time. It will be a little quicker, but it'll still have that nerf. You know what I mean? It'll be half the nerf, basically.
Okay.
So two people can use the bench at the same time then?
Yes, people can work on the bench at the same time.
Deathgasm, you got a question?
Now, certain workbenches will have a limited amount of people that can work on it. And once that item slot is full, no other items can be worked on that workbench.
Okay.
In case that's also a question, I figured I'd answer that ahead of time as well.
Deathgasm?
Now, I got what more than I use question. Now, if a killer stumbles upon your workbench that has your item that's partially done, could they manipulate it with it and like destroy part of it? Or could they freaking remove it so when they put it down, it reverses? Or when they go to use it, it breaks?
Actually, I was going to say something similar to that. Thank you, Deathgasm. Could the killers
Okay,
put the workbenches?
Great minds think alike.
Like, let's say you're trying to make a
So
spear.
either A would increase the timer on the crafting for the opposition, as long as the person finishes their item,
Okay.
or B, it's easier to break.
Sabotage that thing.
What I was thinking was, for that, you could have a choice of what you want to do.
Sabotage.
You can either sabotage or you could increase the timer.
Now, I have
They
another.
both have different strategic qualities to it, so...
So, part of this question I have next. Let's say Juggernaut has the ability to make an extendo punching glove. I'm just throwing it out there. He meets Nick in the woods. Could he drop that weapon for Nick to be able to pick up and use?
Yes.
Okay. That's actually pretty cool. Then you could have somebody back at base working on things and have other people sabotaging things. That could really make the game an interesting spin. Speaking of...
You can also ping things, but the ping only shows up in a certain distance.
Ah, okay. This one has to
There's
do...
another question.
Yes?
Is there any specific codes that allow you to craft faster for like different classes?
You're a mean Juggernaut. You're a mean
That'd
Juggernaut.
be the crafting perk. There's also one for carrying more items, which would be the backpacker perk.
Mean
Which is on
Juggernaut.
both sides.
Mean Juggernaut right there.
There's also a brutish kit in a sense, if you get my drift. Now, I do need to warn you, this game's obviously rated M, because there's going to be drug references and everything, like steroids for the groups and stuff.
Oh my!
Mushrooms that you could make into poison darts and stuff.
Badger, mushroom.
And before you ask, yes, you do get a trippy effect when you get dosed.
Dosed, oh man! Oh man, the terminology this guy is using. Maybe he is the token druggie of the group. Yo, you all get dosed. Y'all get straight up dosed, yo.
So, what's the next question then? If that satisfied your
It's satisfied for now. I may come back to it.
Okay.
Can you use traps or abilities that have I've misspelled this word horrible. Basically, status effects you can slap onto your target. For instance, flashbangs or pepper spray.
You make a spike trap and you decide you're gonna rub the poisonous mushroom all over the spikes. That adds effect, bleeding and poison.
Okay, but that goes into my next question. Would you have to staunch it, or would it just be like a side effect? Like it would be a temporary DOT going down, you know?
Depending on how effective you want it to be.
Okay, that sounds pretty
Now,
good.
there's going to be a perk that makes it where it's quicker to do so.
Okay.
Now, do remind me that I haven't mentioned any of the abilities, because the abilities are what are special to each person and stuff. We'll come back to that, though.
Okay, well, I can skip that section then real quick. What is, or how does one describe the maximum load of a character? For instance, can you just keep hawking items onto yourself? Or is there a limit
Well,
to
no, that's why there's a perk for, that's why there's a perk called backpacking. Basically, when you add a couple slots onto your inventory, it will be limited, because you don't want it to where people are going to be able to carry immense amounts. You want this to where you can find the items you're looking for, and that's it basically. So you craft it, and now there will be a slot for like weapons and stuff where like you have a holster. That'll be separate.
Is there a weight limit that you can carry?
Thank you, Juggernaut.
Yes.
Thank you. He's over here reading my mind again, damn it.
There is a weight limit, of course, because again, that has to do with the fact that we're going to code in the weight affecting your footprint size.
Okay.
And how fast you can run for how long.
Now, how do you choose how much, like, each character can carry? Because are you going by the size and build of the person, or...
That could be interesting, because that would give you a different reason to play certain characters. He already stated that certain characters were going to be brute characters, certain characters were going to be stealth, you know.
For each character, there's a certain type of inventory, your ability, your stamina, your strength, your HP, it's all different.
Can I have a fanny pack?
Yes, you can have a fanny pack that is craftable. That's one of the items that could, like, extend your inventory space.
Fanny pack,
Small
fanny pack.
items.
Listen, I want gold dust fanny pack. No, I want fanny pack.
Yes, size does matter with the backpacks.
Oh my!
Say you drop a lead plate, that takes up a decent amount of space.
You hear that, everyone? Size does matter. Do go on with this size. Does the girth also matter?
Listen here.
It took him a couple seconds before he answered.
No, he was stunned. He's like, I can't believe this idiot says something that stupid. Can you feel it? The weight, the size, the girth.
The actual killers and stuff, what they look like, or the survivors, what they look like and everything. We will go over that as well. But before we get into that, is there any other questions that you want to ask before then? Yeah, I'm good.
I'm going to skip over the next section because it's about the characters and the killers, because you already said you're going to talk about it. I'm just going to jump to my last section, and then we'll go to that.
Yeah, okay.
This last section is the most important one to me. It's the gameplay section. Okay, so in most games of survival horror where it's team versus team, there's usually a set objective of something to do. For instance, cleansing totems, fixing generators, or finding the escape door before some horrible monster mutates out of your stomach. I have no idea what that game is, but it sounds awesome. Will this game have one way out, or will it have many ways out? Will this game be a game that has multiple choices that can keep the killer guessing what your overall goal is trying to be?
I was thinking of maybe having an escape hatch that you have to find like certain parts to make a key for, like as an end game when it gets closer to where. But then again, I also said this was a fight to the last breath game.
Oh, right. You know, but what if the odds become desperately out of your favor? What if Juggernaut, Deathgasm, and Nick decide to gang up and just go on an absolute bender at the beginning of the game and slaughter 5 out of the 6 survivors? Now you're survivor 1. Is this become a Rambo story where you have to take down the other 3 killers? Or is there the possibility of another escape?
You brought that up. Yeah, there is a possibility of another escape. Like I said, it would be kind of like a safe or a hatch that you could get parts to build the key.
Almost like a door hidden in the ground, as if it's a trap. Perhaps a trap door?
Right. But you still need the keys for it.
DVD.
DVD.
All right. Next question comes down to noise. How much will noise affect the game? For instance, will you be able to hear characters walking around in, say, a wooded area? Or are you the kind of character that can only hear, like, really loud explosions, such like DVD does?
Noise matters.
Okay.
Big time it matters. Like, say you step on a twig, you're going to hear that twig snap.
Okay. I have to reword the next question because I think I was a little too perverted-minded when I did it. Will a character's size, disposition have any true effect? For instance, will a larger character, like, for instance, Juggernaut, be able to pull more swing behind his attacks, whereas somebody like, say, Reaper Rose would just be faster with her swings?
Size matters. But size matters. Say there's a big this spot under the bed. That's the spot they can't hide.
Oh my!
That's where this comes back to where I was saying where if you're hefty to the point where you can't fit in a locker or under the bed, there's other spots for you to hide. The advantage of being super skinny and small and stuff like that is you can hide almost anywhere. And yes, it will just swings as well.
Okay, now this is an area where I thought of additions to the game. This isn't so much questions as it is just ideas I had for the game. Would you allow swimming as a way to hide? For instance, you could dive underwater and hold your breath while the killers run by?
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's lakes in the maps too and stuff to hide in.
Okay.
But if you stay under for too long, you do start to drown.
Well, of course. When you speak destructible environment, are we talking destructible as in you can break down doors and go through windows? Or are you talking a killer could possibly set up a building to topple and fall on top of a survivor? That'd be an interesting way to put somebody down.
Honestly, no. I think some buildings will be able to do that, but not all the buildings, because if you destroy all the buildings, then there's nowhere for anyone to do anything. Because that destroys whatever's in that building as well.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 questions.
Okay.
What's up?
Alright. Would this be crossplay?
Yes. Cross-platform, you can different systems and stuff. Yes.
Yeah. Alright,
Yeah.
Question. How much of a modding capability is in this game?
You're fine.
There's going to be a workshop for systems as well as PC. It might not be as advanced as PC modding would be, but the consoles will be able to actually mod as well.
Interesting.
Will this game be rated pirate?
A mod workshop installed into the game, that way people can use it.
Sorry.
Will this game be rated pirate?
There is going to be a lot of swearing and drug references, so probably it's either going to be M or R.
That's pirate. Rated R.
All right. Question: is there going to be some sort of anti-cheating for this game?
Yes.
How will hackers be dealt with?
We obviously have where your user is coming from and everything in the systems that's going to be highly encrypted and everything.
So you have the IP address.
Yes. I will not make it so that it's possible for someone, oh, well, I could just fucking create a new account. Nah, you have to pay for your crime.
All right.
Either that, or we'll have the one game where it has a hackers lobby, where all the hackers are only there. So either way will work for me.
Now, me and Sub were talking about this idea as well, so it's one I wanted to bring up. Every time a new killer or survivor comes out, you have a chance to go and watch a small tutorial of them, and then play a small tutorial with them. It would be something along the lines of, this is Juggernaut. Juggernaut doesn't like to be looked at, and to have like Juggernaut's character turn to look at the camera, and then reach out and break it. That's why I have extra cameras. This is what Juggernaut does, and it shows off Juggernaut's abilities and powers. He goes, would you like to play as Juggernaut? And you get like a small demo of being able to play as the character. That way you can learn the characters, and if you don't want them, you don't have to pay for them.
And for playing the tutorial, you get the story to that said player that you can go back and read at any time.
Will you allow bots?
Well.
Will you allow bots in non-competitive modes?
It has to be agreed upon.
Okay.
There will be a voting system for that.
Okay. Well, for right now, I'm going to stop with the questions. I can always make a part 2 of this and come back later. Now, you were talking about starting to slap down some abilities. Now, I do like the idea of what abilities you gave Necro. He's exceptionally overpowered. He's literally a broken character. He's basically the big W when he hits the field.
Right away.
So, unfortunately, I think after the first week, we're just going to pull him off the shelf. And
he's the person that's going to bring everyone in.
Yeah, we're gonna hit him. We're gonna hit him with a hammer so bad it's gonna make it seem like we're buffing the clown. Please go on with the characters and abilities, man. I'm sorry, I'll stop interrupting. Go for it.
No, it's alright. It's alright. Now, do we want to start with the survivors or the killers? That's the question.
We could do 1 and 1. You know, you do 1 killer and 1 survivor if you like.
Alright, so we did Necros, so let's do Necro's Survivor. Necro's ability is to be able to, there are passive abilities and there are active abilities. His active ability would be able to, what's the word? Be able to find mushrooms and stuff a lot easier by a scan. The passive is that anyone that's in his proximity gets a 5% when the skill is active towards that same ability.
So he's a
So this character is basically a herbologist, basically. And then there's Mama Bear's Killer, which of course is a teddy bear, kind of reminiscent of the Killer Teddy Bear game, if anyone gets the reference.
Necro!
Her ability is to, she has a laser eye that can shoot a certain distance. And the first shot is a stun, and the second shot is a damager.
So we have Scorpion and Kano in the game now. Okay. Will she have an Australian accent too?
Her starting weapon is a kitchen knife, by the way.
My weapon
So let me get this straight. She's a suited character who's a villain who uses a knife and has a laser eye.
Right.
So it's Kano.
Right. Right.
And
It's not a Bowie knife. It's a kid knife.
And Necro is a stealthy character who can throw a barbed weapon with a chain attached to it to pull people closer to him. So we have Scorpion as well.
Did I say what her ability was? It was a laser eye, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, I just wanted to make sure. What was I saying? No, I'll come back to the passive. Actually, you know what? Necro's passive ability is that he has a buff in stealth. That's why he's a stealth character.
So you say his stealth is kind of ninja-like, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. Like almost invisible, kind of.
Get over here!
Almost. Mama Bear's passive would be range. Her attacks are heavier hitting than normal attackers. She's the brute class, basically.
Mama Bear's the brute class. Oh my!
Now, I guess I should explain how fast she. Well, we've already went over how fast brutes would walk, basically, right?
The brutes are the characters that start off slow, but they can slowly build up over time.
Right.
Whereas a speedy character starts off full speed.
Right. We'll get to the perks after I'm done explaining the characters, by the way. So, Rebel's killer would be... Oh, shit. It would probably be what's the word for it? A mascot, kind of. She'd be wearing a mascot costume.
I want to say it in the worst way, but I know I get in a lot of trouble for it.
So, she's a mascot character. What's her weapon and what's her specials?
Her special is being able to hear a further distance than normal by like 25%.
Okay.
And her ability is to basically she's one of the crafting killers. She's the trap side.
Okay.
So she gets a little extra inventory for her traps.
Cool.
That's her passive ability.
Okay.
She gets like 2-3 slots extra.
That's cool. That's cool.
And she also gets the passive buff on crafting faster, obviously. Her survivor side. Oh, I forgot the weapon, didn't I?
Yeah! Yeah, you did!
Come on, think about it, Kaiju. Think about it.
No, we're shush. Yeah, Sub is speaking.
It would be...
Sorry.
It'd be a crossbow.
It'd be a crossbow, okay.
Yeah.
So we never went over Mama Bear's survivor.
Oh, we didn't?
You didn't go over her
I
survivor?
Mama Bear's survivor would be a medic class.
Ah,
She is able to heal people 25% faster than everyone else. And she doesn't need as many materials to craft medical items.
okay.
Mama's kiss boo-boo.
Because Mama's
Her active ability is she could send out little tiny teddy bears to attack the killer. Or stun the killer.
Little robot Teddy grabs the ankle. I love you! Get the hell off me!
I'm thinking probably a stun. That way she has more time to heal someone.
Okay.
Especially if it's a quick heal.
Mm-hmm.
Rebels would be... What would Rebels be? Rebels would be the marksman, in a sense.
Oh.
She has a buff already with guns. She could craft them quicker. She could craft weapons quicker. She can also shoot like only like a small percentage better than normal characters, but she could find ammo and stuff a lot easier.
Okay. So she's the one that the killers are gonna kind of just like run after.
Right.
Rebel run!
Yeah, quick question for you, Sub.
What's up?
Okay, so you said Mama Bear will have little mini Mama Bears running around.
Yeah.
Okay, that, good son. Now, per se, since my character as a survivor is an herbalist, could we actually, if I, like, ran into Mama Bear, could I add a poison to her teddy bears?
Well, yes. Yes. Which means they'll be poisoned and stunned for a certain amount of time.
That's
Obviously, the poison would last longer than the food.
So in this game, teamwork truly does make the dream work.
Right.
Okay, keep going.
Juggernaut's killer would, oh sorry man, but you're gonna be the Minotaur from the maze.
What's wrong with Minotaurs? Minotaurs are fucking awesome.
And you're gonna have an active ability that uses, yes, I'm taking this idea, uses a yarn ball that points you in a direction for a certain amount of time where the survivors are. So you're basically like a scout.
So Juggernaut's a scout. Okay, cool.
Now, you may be a Minotaur, but you're actually very fast, but you're also stealthy. You're more of a mixture. You're not as stealthy as the stealth class, but you're not as fast as, well, you're not as fast as the stealth class, basically.
So he's a hybrid.
He's a hybrid, yes.
Cool.
I'm a mod.
Hey, listen, that's actually
I
pretty
mean,
cool.
after all, it is Minotaur, so it is a hybrid.
You're a stealthy, fast Minotaur. That's actually pretty badass, dude. Your killer's
That
a
also
scout.
has you like mimicry UAV, basically.
And you got a freaking drone!
Well,
Rebels
yeah,
are
that's what its active ability is. The golden yarn ball that leads him towards the survivor for a few seconds.
So let me get this straight. Rebel's the sniper, and he's the drone expert, and I'm what?
Hold on, we're getting to you, man.
I'm
getting to you.
Oh, now I
talk
have.
about his weapon, too.
I'm on bated
I
breath
gotta
right
talk
now,
about his
buddy.
weapon.
Oh, I'm on bated breath right now.
For your weapon, Juggernaut, would be a double-edged axe, because it fits the Minotaur.
Cool.
That's your starting weapon. Obviously, you guys could switch out your weapons at any time by crafting.
Okay.
But they're more breakable. The craftable stuff is more breakable than the starting weapon.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Okay.
Now, your survivor side will basically be you're the runner. You run the killers. Your active ability is kind of like a sprint burst.
Cool.
And your passive ability is people around you can work faster on items like totems and stuff.
Ah.
It's pretty passive work. You're basically still at the point in time when you're doing it. Now, about the totems, you can have more than one person work on that totem.
Cool.
But it will restart if nobody stays on the totem, so you know, if it doesn't get finished. It will restart.
Nice. Is that Brad Pitt?
But, I just explained your survivor, right?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay,
You're
I
the
just wanna make
sprinter.
sure.
You're the sprinter who can help people.
Kaiju.
Oh, I've been waiting for this moment.
You're gonna be waiting for a few more moments.
Aww.
Oh, Sub, you are playing a dangerous game, sir.
Deathgasm. What's up?
Oh, a dangerous game.
Kaiju, I'm sorry, but when he said that, that was the first thing that popped in my head.
Hey, Juggernaut, in that picture you put it up, is
Okay,
that
so
Brad Pitt?
Deathgasm. you would be. Oh, jeez. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm trying to feed a dog with a cone on its head a little bit here at the same time, so do forgive me. You're basically a berserker.
Well, that fits his category right there. He's a berserker.
Your active ability is basically berserker mode, kind of like rage mode, but you get to move faster as well. You move faster, you swing harder.
Okay.
But
No.
you have a 5-second debuff after the ability where you slow down for a little bit.
Sounds like
5
a
or
good
10
trade-off.
seconds. I don't know which would be less OP.
I guess it would depend on the situation too. I mean,
Yeah.
if he goes berserk but doesn't catch anybody, he's screwed. But if he catches 6 people, then
But your passive is that you buff everyone's stamina along with their strength when they're around you.
You mean your killer?
It's only like 2-3% buff, but it's still a buff.
Okay.
I might make it to where it's like a level thing, like once you get to a certain level, it's like a 5%, kind of something like that. There's probably going to be levels to every ability.
Okay.
Okay, so your weapon of choice is going to be probably going to be a katana or a sledgehammer. I haven't decided on that one yet.
Okay. What about Survivor?
His survivor?
Yeah, that was the killer, right?
Yeah, that was his killer. His survivor would be a fast worker. His active ability is that he buffs the speed of everything for 10-15 seconds for everyone in proximity by 5 or 10%.
That's actually a pretty powerful skill. I like that. He could basically run into a group of us while we start working on traps or something, pop the ability, and then go back to what he was doing.
Right, but his cooldown's a little longer than everyone else's.
Listen, that little 5% boost to doing something could be the difference between getting an axe in the face or not.
Right.
Nick just puts in the trap and steps back as the killer hits the trap. That could be the difference,
Your passive ability is that your proximity chat is a little bit bigger, which means your proximity as well for you basically buff people's proximities.
So people can talk louder around you, which is great in a game where you're trying to be stealthy.
No, that's not what I mean. What I mean is you can hear them louder, yes, but it only buffs the proximity of those around you and your proximity to where you could hear them louder and they could hear you a little louder. But that doesn't work on the killer. That's the positive right there. It doesn't buff the killer's proximity.
Don't worry, guys. The killer can't hear us. Shut up. I can hear you. I got a headache. Shut up, guys.
Kaiju.
You're going to skip me and go to you, aren't you?
Kaiju.
Hi.
My friend.
Oh, I don't like where this is going. I don't like where this is
going. You are a trap stealth killer. Which means you don't get as many inventory extra as a trapper. But what you don't have in inventory, you make up for in speed and stealth. You have an active ability that changes depending on your skin. But default's going to be a little dinosaur. of little miniature toy machines, kind of like from the Donkey Kong game, where they're little Marios, kind of like that.
Okay.
Your passive, however, is going to be that you're able to hear a little further than most, but you're also able to attack faster than most. And your active ability has less of a cooldown.
Okay. You haven't explained what my active ability does. You explained that they were little robots, but you didn't explain what they did.
They explode on impact.
So I'd make bombs.
Yeah, they're tracking the bombs, basically. You choose the target and it tracks them until it hits them.
So the guy who's lost most of his hearing has a special ability of being able to heal better than others. I like the irony of that one.
Right.
I'm basically deaf as it is. I have to read people's lips when they talk half the time. But my special ability is I can hear better than everybody else.
Don't get me wrong, I also didn't mention the fact that you have an over time healing buff.
Okay. So my
But
killer
that's
summons...
only when you're in a stealth area.
So my character summons small bombs to the field to explode. I can't hold as many traps as other people, but I'm still stealthy. And I can hear really well and attack really fast. So what's my weapon?
Well, don't forget there's also the regeneration of health over time in the stealth area.
Okay. I can heal better when I'm stealth.
What's your weapon?
Yes.
What's your weapon?
Yes.
What would you want your weapon to be, Kaiju? What would you want?
Personally, an M142 sniper rifle, but I ain't gonna get that, so...
Sorry, that's not a stealth weapon.
It can be. If I hit you from a mile away, you didn't hear it. Just saying, that sounds pretty stealthy to me.
You're gonna have paralysis needles on hand. With a blow dart gun as well. You're gonna actually be one of the first killers that be interchangeable with how you use your weapon.
Okay. Alright, so what's my survivor like? Let me guess. He's really skinny and has the ability to yodel. I don't know.
No. You're the backpack man. I know it's a perk, but there's a class for it.
I'm surprised you didn't make him the fanny pack, man.
Don't you make fun of my fanny packs. You never know if I got something in them.
He comes equipped with a fanny pack. What do you mean?
It's Gold Dust's fanny pack. It's so shiny.
But yeah, you basically get extra space as a survivor. You get to sorry, I had to mute for a second. Basically, you would have more space. You'd be able to craft a little quicker, not as quick as the people that are built to craft. What you doing, Kaiju?
Even in game, I'm a freaking pack mule.
Yes, you're the pack mule over there.
Even in the game world, I'm a fucking pack mule. Hee-haw! Throw it on the rock.
You can hold more weapons that are crafted, or hold more items that aren't weapons. And you're able to actually craft. You're actually able to craft. Yeah, you're actually able to craft a little faster than most. Like I said, you can hold a little more. You have a fanny pack equipped in the beginning. Low level, you can upgrade the fanny pack.
This is because I want to be the clown main, isn't it? This is because I want to be a clown main, right?
No. Your active ability is to throw bottles Disorientate people.
Yep.
His passive ability is that he gets more stamina, and he's also able to run longer and run faster than most as well.
Let me guess, he's not going to run while he does it.
Is he dressed as a pink elephant?
This is because I want to be a clown main. This is what I get. I get a backpack, and I get to throw turpentine bottles at people. And he's calling me fat. I'm not hearing a no.
Alright. Now you heard your passive ability, right?
I have a bigger backpack, I can move slightly faster, and my stamina regenerates slightly faster.
Right. You're carrying all that as a pack mule.
Oh, I'm carrying all of that, yeah. I know what you're talking about. I'm carrying all that, huh?
All that in a bag of jerky.
Oh, yeah, that's totally why you're getting more stamina and everything, and you're no longer running.
Anyway, I still think the game sounds amazing.
Now, let's go on to perks.
And every game needs a Dwight.
That's Necros. Necros is the Dwight. Yeah, I know. But, other members of TMOG will be added later on.
I can't wait till we get to Rosetta, who has a chain gun, and she's the field medic with the frickin' sniper training, gets to be a guy with a backpack who throws bottles at people.
Hey man, I don't know what you're complaining about. You got a pretty good throw with those bottles.
Do I have a permanent cough?
You can if you want.
On game! Alright, so anyway.
Everyone's gonna have a wheeze in it.
I know everyone thinks Necro got the short end of the stick here, but I'm starting to think I know who the gag character is. Do I at least get a pink elephant costume?
No, but you can turn invisible for a momentary lapse.
30 seconds.
Woo!
Because you're the only one that can actually craft invisible potion bottles.
I'm gonna throw them at the killer. Make him disappear. Make the killer disappear. Then no one's ready for that. Turn him into a fucking predator.
We haven't gotten the Reaper Roses though.
Well, we're gonna have to save that for another time.
Alright.
I've still got more questions to go through, and you still have more survivors to mention. And, best of all,
Which ones did I mention?
I mean, if you want me to go down the permanent list of monsters of gaming, what about Battlefield Brandon or Roadblock Ban?
They're all future updates. They're DLCs.
Anyways, folks, this has been our first workshopping of a game. We're going to have to turn this into a part 2 because there are more questions and more answers to be done. If you have any ideas on ideas you'd like to add to the game, powers, characters, abilities, things to make my character even more of a joke character, perhaps I use a giant squeaky hammer, who knows? Please feel free, email us at themonstersgaming.com or put a message down below, or just pretend you did that and hope that I can read your minds. Apparently everyone thinks I can read minds. But until next time, excuse me. Hey, I'm doing my outro. Hey. Until next time, folks, I'm Kaiju the Clown K.
I'm John Jared.
I'm Mama Bear.
I'm Subliminal.
He just said I'm Deathgasm, but it didn't come up. And we'll see you all in the future, everyone.